So we get a lot of calls to the Johnston County Extension Office about people who have grapevines that have not been trained and pruned correctly from basically day one since they were planted, or very rarely have been pruned. And that's the case here with this vine here you see today. We've got a mass of old wood. Some of this is dead that we're going to take out and cut away the dead wood, and some of the wood that is not being productive. You see we do have a vine coming up here. We're going to try to cut back some of this wood and actually train a few of these cordons down to this wire here and try to get this vine growing as correct as we possibly can. Again, this is not a perfect situation, but a lot of times that's what homeowners are faced with. You know, they don't have and this vine here was inherited. The lady moved here. This vine was in this shape when she came, and she's trying to get it sort of whipped back in shape and hopefully have a productive grapevine for years to come. We're back here at this grapevine that we started with a while ago. You remember seeing the mass of vines we had here to my left. You can see we cut a lot of the overgrown and dead wood out, and we've got a pile of that wood here left. That's the remnants from what we cut off of this grapevine. And we cut all that off in an effort to sort of get it back in shape and get it back to one central leader here. And you can see we're going to try to train this cordon to go down this wire this way, and we're going to try to train these to go this way, this one here. And again, there's no perfect way to do this. We picked and chose the vines we wanted to use, and the vines that were still living and green and had some green wood in them. And those are the ones we chose that were already sort of oriented in these directions that we wanted to go, and we took off the rest of the wood. It'll be interesting to see the growth we can get out of this vine this year, and hopefully it'll go down the vine, go down the wire here, and sort of get back to a desired shape and be a productive grapevine for this homeowner. With this vine here, you can see it's a little different in that we left some larger wood, and the reason for that was we had a very long vine about this size that was probably 10 foot long that had no spurs, had no bud, had no fruiting wood coming off of it. We just had a vine this size that went down to my left here about 10 feet, and then at the end we had a bush of small vines. So we cut those back, and the idea here is we've tied this up and cut it back, and we're hoping to get some new growth coming out of here that we can train to go to the right. And then we had the same thing here where we had a larger vine that still had about 8 to 10 foot of no spurs, no fruiting wood. We cut it back in hopes that it's going to cut it back to green wood. We also had some dead wood on this plant here as well, so we cut it back to green and hopefully growing wood, and we're going to try to train a vine off of this down the wire for this coming season.
I'm standing in a commercial vineyard, and as you can see, this is the last year's growth, all overgrown and hanging down, and they'll come through and quickly hedge out with shears and just cut off the bulk of that. And that helps you see that the structure of the vine, you've got a single trunk, and you got the wire that supports that, a single wire, not a double wire, which a lot of homeowners do, because the double wire, the lower part will be shaded out. The single wire about 5 to 6 feet above the ground, and a permanent structure, a cordon going to the left and to the right. And then these sections here are called spurs. That's where the fruiting wood is on. So you've got last year's growth that has come out, and you want to leave about 2 to 4 buds on there, with a total of about 25 to 40 buds per foot of cordon. This is a different way to train grapevines. You've got start your trunk coming up and split it, and these are 2 wires up top, and train the cordon on each of the 2 wires, and that way you have plenty of sunlight that the grapes can get, as opposed to having the wires stacked one atop another. So this gives it plenty of room to grow and not shade out the different vines. And as you can see, the spurs are spaced out about a hand width apart, and again, these are permanent structures, and you want to leave 2 to 4 buds along here and cut this off. This is last year's wood, which the fruit will be produced on this year, and have to prune these, leave 2 to 4 buds on there, and you have some nice fruit this coming year.